My name's David Cullip.
I'm Dustin Lehman.
And how old are you, David?
33.
And how old are you, Dustin?
19.
And where did you grow up? Where are you from, Dustin?
I'm originally from Yell County, Arkansas. That's where I was born, and I've lived pretty much all over this area in Kansas: Council Grove, Alta Vista, Wilsey, Parkerville.
Cool. And David, did you grow up primarily in Eskridge?
I primarily grew up in Eskridge,
You didn't-
but I've also, because of my family, I've had ties to Council Grove, so I grew up in both places.
David, let's just start with you. You're 33. When did you have your accident that put you in your wheelchair?
I had my accident in 1994, and a hunting accident, just outside of Eskridge, about 2 miles.
All right. And then when was your accident?
My
Dustin?
accident was July 27th, 2010. I was 16 years old.
What was your condition, David? Like when they told you were paralyzed, like
They told me that I would never. Well, the doctors came in. He pretty much told me that I would never walk again. You know, that I asked him if I ever had a chance to play basketball again. He told me straight up, he's like, no. And, like, I pretty much gave up after that point. Like, if the doctor's telling me, hey, look, there's no chance that you're ever going to get anything back, then, you know, you take that at face value for what it's worth. You know what I mean? You believe the doctors, you know, because they're educated in these kinds of things.
how were you paralyzed? Like, do you know what nerve it hit or?
I got shot with a 12-gauge shotgun, and it injured my vertebrae. It made my vertebrae look like an upside-down question mark. Vertebrae L1 through L5 were completely shredded. I mean, they were like almost decimated. I mean,
You were shot in the back,
I was
your lower
shot.
back.
Yeah, I mean, with a 12 gauge. I mean, if you've ever seen what a 12 gauge does to a watermelon, imagine what that does to a person.
Yeah.
That happened to me.
And then Dustin, you were in a car accident?
Yeah, I was in a rollover car accident, alcohol related.
Okay.
And I broke my cervical 5 and cervical 6 vertebrae in my neck, which pretty much paralyzes from triceps down.
So what did the doctors tell you when you?
They came in and told me basically what they told Davey, you know, I mean, you're never going to get anything back, and I was like, you know, I was worried about sports and everything else and football and all that, and they said, forget about it, you know, it's not going to happen, you're not going to do it.
So yeah, because David, you did do a lot of sports when you were in junior high.
Yeah, I was really good at sport. I had 4 track records, 3 individual, 1 relay. So, and yeah, I was on my way.
And then what kind of sports did you do, Dustin?
I played football, basketball, baseball. I skateboarded, basically everything. I mean, I was a very, very good football player. That was my main sport.
Mhm.
It just crushed me to hear that I would never play it again.
What was the biggest struggle for you adapting?
Basically, biggest struggle is like, I mean, not really. I mean, I've always been an independent person, and that's what really killed me is pretty much having to have somebody take care of me all the time, not being able to do anything on my own, basically. I mean, my arms were so weak from the accident, I couldn't even reach up and scratch my nose. I mean, it was nothing at all.
And how about you, David?
Just not
Same
being able
things?
to play any sport the way I used to play because I was so damn good at what I used to do. I mean, I was good. And not being able to play crushed me.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about the events that led up to you being able to move your legs again? Like, why don't you just kind of walk me and anybody else that's watching or listening through that?
Well,
And when did it happen?
Well, it happened in April of this year, and it didn't happen right away. It was a progression. I was just driving down the street, coming here to Council Grove to visit my family from Topeka, and I just started thinking about my life and all the shit I've been through, and all the stuff I've had to overcome. And I started to think about things, and then it just occurred to me that, man, I've almost died, and I mean died at least a dozen times, right? And my story, the shit I had to overcome, the shit I had to deal with, the shit I had to struggle through, the shit I had to hear from people, and the fact that I was able to get through all that, to rise above all that, gave me the realization of the epiphany that, hey, my story could help people. My story of survival could help those who are struggling right now, you know, who are depressed, think life's hard, you know. They can take a look at my story and say, hey, look at what he's been through. Look at what he's going through. Yet he has the will to not only survive, but to achieve great things and to help people and to realize, I realize that my story can help a lot of people. My story inspires people. And through that, through the positive end, I just got this positive, overwhelming sensation that, hey, I could help people. And I don't know what happened. I can't explain it. But something positive happened to me. Something greater than I could ever explain. And it stimulated my neurons. It woke up my neuroreceptors. The positive, I don't know if it was the positive thinking or what, but something woke my systems up. And I can't explain it. I really don't have any, you know, medical or scientific, you know, explanation behind it other than, hey, it happened. This is happening to me. I'm going through it right now. My legs are starting to wake up. I'm getting returns in my legs I haven't had in 20 years, right? I'm getting sensations in my legs that I haven't had in 20 years. Like, I know that I could be walking within 3 to 5 years if I really pushed it, if I really went for it. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to inspire people and show them, hey, look, don't give up. Anything's possible. If you want to, you can. Don't give up. It's taken me 20 years to achieve the things I've gotten and I've achieved now, but it's coming. It's happening to me, and it's a good thing.
So when did you start really getting a lot? When did you start feeling your legs?
3.5
Again.
weeks after that epiphany and that moment, I started to get this pain in my knee, and that's something that was new to me. I've never had pains in my legs, not like this. This was like a, hey, I can feel that, right? And then I thought, well, what if I tried to move it? What would happen? And it moved.
What was that like for you?
Probably the best feeling I've ever, best feeling I've had in a long time. Like, hey, like, if I can do that, what can I do next?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if I can, move my leg, this way, can I move it this way? And I did. And so now, I'm getting control in my legs that I've never ever had. I'm getting muscle tone in my leg that I've never ever had. It's crazy. And I'm just dumbfounded by this whole thing. I'm just like, yeah, and it feels good. It feels really good. And I want to give that to people and be like, hey, people in our condition need to know there is hope.
So you've been moving your legs, you've been getting that feeling back. How much has it progressed?
Now, something happened to me to where my friend, I don't want to give his name, he kicked my knee out and injured my knee, so I haven't been able to rehab it as much as I've been able to. But I've probably, because the muscle fibers and stuff have been dead for so long, if you look at me, they've atrophied for so long, but I've probably increased it by like 10%, something like that. It's a small game, but at the same time, I haven't been able to put all of myself into it yet, because of this injury. And I found out that it was I have arthritis in my knee because of my situation.
Mm-hmm.
And my doctor said that's what was causing me, the pain and inflammation was from the arthritis in the knee. I have to talk to him whenever I go see him here in a couple of weeks to talk about it,
What does your doctor think about you being able to move your legs again?
He honestly.
What was his reaction when you have you shown him?
I have shown him.
And what did he respond with? Really? That's all I could do?
Yeah, there's really. I mean, what?
Too dumbfounded to even know what to say.
Right.
You know? Like,
And honestly, I haven't had a chance to really. I mean, I've shown him a little bit of what I can do, and he's all like, that's a good thing because we've talked about it, and my whole long-term goal is eventually I want to, try to get off all these medications that they have me on now related to my disability, and I want to try to, so we've talked about that, and that's one of my goals.
Dustin, when you're starting to be able to move your legs again now?
I've been able to move mine for a while.
Like when did it start for you?
Basically, when I was up there in rehab, I went to rehab in Lincoln, Nebraska, and basically, like a few days before I left, I mean, I started to be able to do this motion right here, and it was real weak, and but I kept doing it. I was excited. I mean, like. The first movement I ever got back was in my fingers. I mean, because with my injury, I'm a quadriplegic, so with my injury, you have impairment in all 4 limbs. So basically, the first thing that started moving for me was the pinch right here. And I mean, I was super excited, but I was a little bit disappointed thinking, because I've always been the type of person that if I want something, I want it all at once, and I was a little disappointed, and and eventually, like a couple days before I left. Madonna rehabilitation was when I was able to start doing this motion. Well, I got back to Council Grove and I just started doing some more rehab, and basically, I mean, just started getting better and better, and I'm trying to work towards that goal that we all have. Basically, from the time you get put into a chair, your basic goal is get the fuck get out of here. Just get up and go. I mean. Most people don't understand that you don't know a good thing until it's gone,
So how long have you guys known each other then?
Oh, God, what? We met
just this summer. How long we known each other last summer? This summer?
Yeah, it's been just this summer. We met at Reed's Clubhouse.
That was last summer, bro.
Was it last? No, it was recently. It was real recent.
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you.
So were you moving your legs before or after?
It was before I met Davey, yeah. And I mean, basically, when I met Davey, he saw what I could do, and basically he told me, just keep going at it. Don't slack on it. Don't even take a break. Don't push yourself so hard to where you hurt yourself. But don't look at it to where I'm getting better, I can take a break on it. No, dude, just keep going at it. I mean. The way I feel about it is if I can do something like this, where I'm told, basically. I mean, no offense to Davey, but I'm a little bit worse off, a lot worse off than he was, and basically if, I mean, even him, I got to give him credit, even if we could do something like this, in my opinion, all it takes is sheer willpower and determination. If you want to do something, the mind is the strongest part of your body. I mean, if you tell your mind you want to fly, I believe you could do it if you worked hard enough at it, like.
Grew wings and just lift it off.
Exactly, I mean.
Throw a rocket at your butt.
So when you started to be able to move your legs again, did you have any kind of like epiphany moment like David did? Or?
It just like hit me. I'm like, when I started to be able to move my legs, it was like, I mean, I didn't really, like he said, I wasn't really thinking about it or anything, but I mean, for me, it basically just happened. Like, I was just sitting there and because I'm an incomplete injury and I've always been able to feel my body all over. I mean, the sensation's not as great as some parts of my body.
Is your spinal cord intact?
Oh, yeah.
Mine was shredded.
But,
well, you were hit by a 12-gauge shotgun.
Yeah, but, I mean, I started getting, like, these, like, like he said, you start feeling different things you never felt before. So, basically, I started spasming, and then, like, I went like this, and it just kept going, and it wouldn't stop. And, like, I was moving it on my own. I thought it was a spasm at first, but it was me, and I'm like, nah, this can't be right. So, I hit my leg, which started making me spasm again, so then I just started going like this again, and it worked again. I was like, oh my God, there's like hope. I don't know, like I felt like I had no reason to be depressed anymore. It was basically the greatest feeling I've ever had in my life, It was, like I said, I love football, and it was even greater than winning a state championship or a national title or something.
My epiphany moment came when I realized that my story could help millions of people. I mean,
well, both of you could.
I mean, the fact I mean, I've almost died like 12 times from being shot to death. I've almost bled out. They had me over medicated. Almost died from that, from a fever. Almost starved to death. Caught a rare disease in second grade that caused my veins to bleed. Caused my veins to bleed on the outside. I've been through the meat grinder, year through my whole, not just throughout my injury, but my whole life. Like I even almost got killed by a ram with my backhoe. Like I had my leg broken in by a backhoe in 3 places. It almost pulled me off, and my uncle almost squished me with that. Like I'm lucky to be alive. I mean, I'm a freaking walking, talking miracle. I really am lucky to be alive. I mean, imagine the possibilities of what I can achieve with my story of suffering.
Right.
Our story of suffering, I mean, we're coming into the age of, individuals, of stories, We're coming into that age right now, and I really feel that we could help a lot of people right now, because people need hope.
Mm-hmm.
People want hope. You know what I mean? People want and need to be inspired right now.
I kind of figure, like, my story, like, I don't want to put anything out there, but, I figure our story's kind of like religion, because if you look at it during hard times, people turn to religion for, like, a little bit of hope, and, like, I'm not saying that we're godlike or anything, but, I mean, like, maybe our
We've definitely been touched by something.
Yeah, and I mean, I figure that, if maybe, we share our story, maybe some poor sucker sitting on the street getting ready to blow his brains out, and he looks at us and says, these guys are, they made it through it all, and maybe he'll look at our story and be like, hey man, there is way more to live for, something like that. I mean,
Or anybody else that's had a spinal cord
exactly,
injury.
yeah. And I mean, like, and basically with my story, like, but my accident was caused alcohol related. I got left in a ditch for 2 hours by a guy I thought was my friend, and, and basically I would like to have these kids out here understand that, you trade one night of fun for a life of hell, It's just going out and getting drunk with your friends and driving at high speeds. That's not cool, Everybody thinks it's the cool thing to do, but, you end up like this, or you can end up, there's worse things than death, is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So.
Let me get back to you for a minute, Dustin. What does your doctor think about your Herald movie?
He thinks it's freaking amazing.
What was his reaction when you showed him?
He just, like, pretty much like Davies, he's thinking, his jaw just dropped, and, he said a few words, but, basically I think he's sitting there thinking, well, shit, I'm wrong, I mean, like.
But imagine how the guy, other people in our situations who have wonderful lives, or just are normal anyways, and they get put into a situation like this. Imagine how they feel whenever the doctor comes in and says, hey, you have no chance to ever walk again. Whenever somebody like me can come in and say, hey, look, you really can. I mean, don't give up. Your spine's in shock right now. No, you can't feel your shit right now, but eventually it will come out. And if you really try, you got to reestablish those signals. You got to work those signals, even if they're not responding. You need to send them, because one day they'll wake up and they'll snap, and then you'll have it, and then you'll build off that one strand. You can build many strands. It's like exercising your brain.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta, don't give up. Never give up. It's never the end. It's never final.
Life hands you some bad cards sometimes, and you can either play them or you can fold them. One of the two. It's up to you. But I recommend playing. Because, I mean, there's always, it's always darkest before the dawn. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. If you just, sometimes you gotta wait for it, and sometimes it feels like, damn, this is never going to happen, and I might as well just give up. But, I mean, if you just wait and you try as hard as you can, even if you put on a smile and smile at somebody down the road, I mean, you're changing somebody else's life, even if you're not doing, like me and Davey are doing, moving your legs and stuff. Even if you're putting on a smile and acting positive and having a good attitude, you're showing people that, things could always be worse, that, things do get better. I mean, you could inspire somebody else just with a positive attitude. My goal is to inspire, and basically the life motto I've lived by since then is, if you don't know who Jimmy Valvano is, he was Jimmy V, he was the coach for who was it? Villanova. And basically he got cancer and he inspired millions, and his main motto was don't give up, don't ever give up. And I don't want to just help people with like spinal cord injuries. I would like to help anybody with a disability, mental retardation, anything, just anything. I mean, I believe that no matter who you are, black, white, whatever you are, you deserve a chance like everybody else does. Even if you're a bum, you deserve as much chance as the next person. And that's basically what I want to do, is let the world know that, just because you have money, or just because you were the popular person in high school, or just because you're the hot shot on the block, doesn't mean you're any better than I am or somebody else. You put your pants on the same way I do, and you bleed the same blood that I do. It does not matter. That's basically what I want to accomplish.
That's funny, because I want to do the same thing.
Yep.
My plan is I want to start a small business doing motivational, inspirational speaking, and bring in people like Dustin that can help.
I do it.
Yeah, that can really actually been through the shit, the meat grinder, that can actually help inspire people.
Mhm.
So.
All right.
It's time we took humanity to the next step. It's time for the next evolution.
I think it's time for people to stop caring about themselves so much and care about their brothers and I'm just gonna say brothers and sisters, because we're all human beings, Just because somebody wears Walmart shoes and you wear Jordans doesn't mean you need to treat them like shit because they don't have the same money you do, And that's basically where society, and I mean not just America but society in general is going. They treat you like shit because you're not like them, and they don't like that. People don't like change, and what the world needs is a change, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, if there's anything you want to say, David, to wrap this up.
No, just that I really think that our stories could really help people.
That's good.
I really believe we can help people. I really, really believe we can not only help people, but I want to help the whole state of Kansas. I want to make Kansas an example to the rest of the nation. I want to try to lift Kansas up to the point we don't need federal assistance. I want to make it where we can subsist on our own. You know what I mean? Fix our own infrastructure, fix our own schools, fix our own social problems, fix everything. Why can't we?
And I like what Davey's saying there, because like Kansas is a prime example of what I'm saying about change. It's such a conservative state that they don't like change, and I think if me and Davey, if we team up and we can show that we can change Kansas, we can change any place in the United States, because Kansas is going to be one of the toughest places for people to see what we want to do and get them to see our point of view and change.
Shut the door. You want to turn on the lights, or is it light?
No, we're good.
Yeah,
I forgot where I should start this one.
You was back here when you started it.
Don't hurt yourself. I don't want to have to get up and pick you up.
That's okay if I hurt
I'm
myself.
gonna step out.
As long as I'm
Oh, you're
on
not.
my head. You ain't got
Huh?
room to
You're not in
step
the
out. It's
frame.
too late. It's
I know,
too
but
late.
it's just too late for you now.
It's too late. You're committed.
Get it, bud. Get it, bud. Get it, bud. Nice. Get it. Bud. Yeah. That's amazing. Love it, man. Love it.
The knee's still fucking real.
That's what you get for pure will and determination.
It's a start. It's a start.
Hey, man. Hey, be proud of yourself, though.
I'm extremely proud, but it's a
The
start.
only person that should be more proud of you is yourself. Don't wear yourself out. Did somebody bring a chair up behind you?
They called me. They called me.
There you go. That's the spider